I've known Marita Rivero a long time, from our earliest days as broadcast journalists. When I first met Marita, she was working for Say Brother, one of public television's first Black-oriented public affairs programs. And I still chuckle at the realization that she came back to WGBH in charge of the entire broadcasting enterprise. My girl. Her work in preservation is so important to the many historic structures, particularly the role she played as board chair and later executive director of the Museum of African American History in Boston and Nantucket. Congratulations to my friend of long-standing, Marita Rivero.
We are here today to recognize Marita Rivero, who is the recipient of our 2021 Codman Lifetime Achievement Award for Preservation. Really excited to recognize you, Marita, in all the work you've done and your long contribution to historic places and preservation. You've been active helping Black people in particular tell their stories. How has this empowered your work and your career?
I suppose I'd start by saying I didn't see myself in the stories. And I thought where you'd have to start would be public broadcasting. I mean, the idea is that you begin to introduce people to one another, and they discovered a shared history, shared humanity, but also we discover the big holes in our own understanding about who we are and what we stand on.
You're not a typical preservationist. Many of us aren't.
I mean, it's a very broad field, isn't it?
It is.
There's room for quite a bit. Aren't we all a little shocked to discover pieces of history that we blithely went past? I challenge us all to pay attention to the kind of research we are doing. Because otherwise you continue having, excuse me for being this direct, a group of white people who are deciding which stories from other communities are important. Oh, those are the important Black stories. We're going to tell those of the Latino, if those are Asian, that's good. You continue masking what could be, in fact, a totally different story that could allow all of us to learn from that past and stand in a different place as we imagine the future.
I'm delighted the Alliance has chosen Marita Rivero to receive the Codman Lifetime Achievement Award. Marita's graceful spirit and her thoughtful determination have had an enormous impact throughout the country in telling the full American story. The Boston Preservation Alliance and the National Trust couldn't have a better friend or a stronger advocate. Thank you, Marita, for all you've done and all you continue to do to advance the cause of historic preservation.
You were board chair at the National Trust for a number of years, and you started a remarkable program. Do you want to talk about the Action Fund?
People say, oh yeah, you're funding African American preservation projects, when in fact it was conceived as something much broader, which really looks at new research, workforce training, lobbying, etc., using the many offices inside the trust.
And it supported more than 150 preservation projects throughout the country, including some right here in Boston.
You know, it's not impossible to get anywhere. You just
one step at a time. It's like climbing a mountain.
You decide you're going to do it, and you just dig in and do it.
Maya Angelou once said, "I come as one, but I stand as 10,000." Marita, you've been standing for all of us during these years, whether in your role as Vice President and General Manager for Radio and Television, or as Chair of the National Trust Historic Preservation. We who are the beneficiaries of your calm, ain't gonna let nobody turn me around determination salute you.
So we're sitting here in the meeting house on Beacon Hill. Amazing things happened here. Would you like to talk about a couple of the key things that you think were important during your work here at the Museum of African American History?
We were all tired of hearing, oh, the best kept secret in Boston. It's like, I don't want to be a best kept secret. I think really looking at just the marketing of it, the graphics, how we engage people so that more people are actually being reached. Because this is when we started the book award. I thought it's important for a museum to recognize and highlight the work of scholars. And finally, you have to say Nantucket. Everybody, we all just chip away at Nantucket. Slowly it's coming together as a terrific campus, and I hope people visit it.
Marita was one of the first people I met when I came to GBH, and one of the most welcoming and inspirational. When Marita left GBH and became head of the Museum of African American History, her impact on that important place was not unlike her impact on this one, relentlessly telling the stories of people who are central to Boston's character and history, not unlike the Boston Preservation Alliance, a perfect match.
Your broadcasting life.
Oh, my
so,
broadcast life.
Tell us a little bit about some of the landmark things you did.
I did not want people to look back on, in this case it was WGBH, but to look back on public broadcasters and say, oh, how quaint. To just bring more people of color onto the staff. You keep doing Basic Black, which could have gone by the board, and you discover you got a weekly place for Callie Crossley to go. I was on a board at Public Radio International, and they said, what show could we do? We should do a show about the world. We bid on it, and we got it. And the head of National Productions Programming said, well, we're going to start a series. We'd like to do a PBS series, The History of Slavery. He said it should have a black person as the executive in charge of production. Would I do it? I thought it'd be fabulous, and it was.
What are your thoughts about the movement today, about the recognition we're giving you?
I'm very honored by the award. I'm happy to be in the space and be embraced by it, and I enjoy the work of the Preservation Alliance and so many other people I've met in this field over the years. And happy to be honored in this way.
Thank you for getting involved in the field. The field is much better for it. So thank you, Marita. Congratulations again.
Thank you so much.
Hello, Marita. The Boston Preservation Alliance is recognizing you for the great work you've done, and we have a great deal of pride in having watched you do that great work.
Marita built a wonderful career, and luckily for all of us, she committed many of those years to her achievements in Boston.
As mentor and supporter to BIPOC creators and filmmakers, your kindness, wisdom, commitment to hire, teach, and launch executives of color is legendary.
Thank you for caring about the work of telling the full American story. Thank you for your leadership.
You've done so much for preservation and for important places across the country. So congratulations from me and your fellow board members.
Marita, you have enriched our lives. And congratulations on receiving the Codman Award for Lifetime Achievement.